Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Fins Nation. I am your host, Louis Sung, and today we are joined by Colby Fauser, who was behind enemy lines with us last season. He is going to be our New England Patriots insider for this episode of Fins Nation. Mr. Colby, thank you for bearing with me. This is actually take 2 of our show here. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty in the sense that it was very technical in my ability to use words. So how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Better now that I got my tongue untwisted. So, hey, things happen behind the scenes, folks. It's all fun and games it's all fun and games until it's like, the words are not coming out properly. But I digress. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about all the stuff going on in the AFC East. We're going to talk about the matchup between the Dolphins and the Patriots that's coming up. Obviously, it's going to be an AFC East game, so it's going to be a very difficult one for the Dolphins and the Patriots both. So we're going to talk about all the matchups and how this is all going to go down. But before that, really quick, just want to go ahead and mention that, as always, this show is brought to you by our good friends over at You Brake Wheel Fix. You Brake Wheel Fix is the complete automotive wheel solution. Ever parked too close to the sidewalk curb? You Brake Wheel Fix specializes in the repair of damaged wheels from bends, cracks, and curb rash. Or maybe your wheels are faded or peeling. You don't need to replace them, as You Brake Wheel Fix can refinish them to like new. Offering complete refinish options through powder coating, machining, and polishing, You Brake Wheel Fix is the answer to all of your wheel needs. And if you're just looking to give your ride a new look, You Brake Wheel Fix also offers many car customizing options, such as new custom wheels and tires from your favorite brands, performance upgrades, window tinting, and suspension modifications. Located just south of Aventura, you can reach Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or online at youbrakewheelfix.com. They are really active on all social media platforms at You Brake Wheel Fix, so shoot them a DM on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter and get an estimate in just minutes. So don't delay, go to You Brake Wheel Fix and start customizing your ride to show off your Dolphins fandom today. This show is also brought to you by PrizePicks.com. PrizePicks.com is a revolutionary fantasy platform where you can now pick up to 6 different players across professional sports leagues. Whether that's the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, one of each, it's up to you to decide. Just choose whether your chosen player will get more or less than their projected stat. They give you free squares, special Taco Tuesday promos, and as you are listening to this, today is Flex Friday, where you can get your money back if you lose or multiply the amount of money you can normally win, which means you can win up to $500 if you decide just to bet the maximum money they'll give you back. $20 bet, you get all 6, $500 goes in your pocket. With offers like that, it's hard to justify not signing up if you are any kind of a fantasy sports fan. So use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. Again, it's promo code 5, FIVE. Go to prizepicks.com, deposit your $100, and let PrizePicks give you $100 of their dollars for you to play with and get started winning today. And very quickly, folks, just once again, want to reiterate, we have a new sponsor to the show, Biscayne Bay Brewery, which we are having another Miami Dolphins watch party at. It is going to be a 5 Reasons Sports watch party. It is a Sunday night game. It's going to be 7 o'clock that it all starts. Make sure you head on over there. Biscayne Bay Brewery is the first and only brewery in downtown Miami. They're independent and locally owned, and they are the official craft beer of the Miami Marlins and the individual brewing partner of the Miami Heat. So they are open Wednesday through Sunday. Go and check them out. Make sure that you come and join us for the watch party. Again, that's 7 p.m. on Sunday. That's when it's going to get started. Make sure you join us, Biscayne Bay Brewery. All right, so got through all that, and I appreciate you, Colby, for bearing with me with all that stuff.
Impressive. I'm impressed.
Hey, we work hard over here. We're trying to get it. We're trying to get as much as we can go in this community. It's a really great community. I think that people are a little happier these days with the Miami Dolphins than they were in the past. And I feel like they kind of earned. We've earned a little respite. We've earned a little respite. Like we've been trailing behind y'all's Patriots long enough. It's like
we've both been chasing the Bills the last few years. Yeah, but you guys long time coming, built it the right way, and kind of reaping the rewards of that now. So yeah. Nice to see.
No, it's been a long time coming, and honestly, as Dolphins fans, I am very happy. We are very happy, but I know that with the New England Patriots, you guys are having a little bit. You're trying to recapture the old magic. I get it, but there's a lot of stuff that happened, and first I just want to ask this question really quick, Colby.
Sure.
Was there I don't know if maybe I blinked or if I missed it or if maybe somebody had told me something and they had just had one too many beers, but was there a 3rd and 59 last week for the New England Patriots, or was I just seeing things?
A 3rd and 59?
That's what I heard somebody tell me. That it was
no, maybe I had one too few many because I don't remember that during the game at all. We did we followed kind of the Chiefs blueprint from Thursday night. We went for it on a 4th and 15 was kind of the longest questionable down and distance I saw, but no 3rd and 59.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's a lot of yards to make up for. Like, what course of events took place that would have led you to 3rd and 59? I can only imagine. Okay, well, thank you for confirming that, because I was like, there's no way. But in any case, back to some real stuff here. So obviously, your Patriots, there's still a lot of good talent on this team. I know that you guys are still solid on the offensive line. You got some really good names on there. Obviously, David Andrews, a longtime veteran. You've got some guys over there. Kendrick Bourne is a wide receiver. He's a veteran as well. You've got some talent over there. Ezekiel Elliott joined. I don't know how much of an impact he's made so far. I know you guys stole Mike Gesicki from us. I don't know. Devon Godshaw is still a New England Patriots staple at this point. He's been around for a while. I still miss him down here in Miami. I'll tell you what, he's a good player. And of course, the Alabama quarterback, Mr. Mac Jones, the protege of Tua Tagovailoa, I guess. So there's a lot of players on this team, and I can't dismiss what the New England Patriots can do. Obviously, as much as I don't want Bill Belichick to catch Don Shula and the all-time wins record, it feels like that if he gets enough time to do it, eventually he will. He'll cross my fingers, say that he doesn't do it. But I wanted to go ahead and get your thoughts on this current Patriots squad. Obviously, things did not turn out the way you were hoping last week, but there's still talent on this team, and I feel like we have to acknowledge that.
I agree, and you went through a few additions from this offseason. I think the biggest one for the team was getting Bill O'Brien back at offensive coordinator. The Matt Patricia experiment last year, I remember being on the show talking about it, and any goals that I think the organization had just did not come to fruition with that. So getting a real offensive coordinator back, I think, was the biggest step we could have took. Mac Jones, he's a talented kid. He's not a creator, kind of in the sense of Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes is. But if you get him in the right system, and we saw glimpses of that on Sunday against the Eagles, he can produce, and he can, not an electrifying player, but definitely an exciting player to watch. So going forward, I think he's going to continue to mature and build in our system. It's funny you brought up the offensive line as one of our strengths. The injury report today was not kind to us at all. We started 2 rookies at guards against the Eagles last week. One of those was put into concussion protocol today, along with Trent Brown, the starting left tackle, and David Andrews, you brought up, actually was listed with a hamstring. So there's a non-0% chance that we are going to roll into Sunday night with a lot of backups getting key spots along the offensive line, which against the Miami defense, and you guys got, Fangio this offseason, it could make for a long game Sunday night for Mac Jones.
Well, I personally feel like at this point, and this is just based from a Dolphins perspective, everything that we've seen so far from the Vic Fangio defense, it feels like, I know that there are some people out there, like I know for Alfredo Arteaga, 3 yards per carry, who's very close with the 5 Reasons Sports Network. He's been saying that Vic Fangio is actually smarter than we all thought he was, but just based on the eye test, just watching the game, it looked like the Dolphins had no idea how to stop the run. Now there are some conspiracies, I guess you could say, that was the plan all along. Is like, go ahead and run all you want. We're just not going to let Justin Herbert throw 50-yard bombs and beat us all game. And it seems that at the end of the day, it actually worked, because when Justin Herbert was forced to throw the football, he suddenly didn't seem to know what to do with the football anymore. So I had another folk. I had Arjun Menon, I believe that's how you say his last name, Menon. But he came on to do the Chargers part of it, and he basically told me that he did not buy into what the Justin Herbert fourth quarter choking in the last minutes narrative was. But it seems to me that's exactly what happened. In fact, and I'll tell you a little funny story, Alfredo Arteaga of 3 yards per carry, he's a betting man. He likes to check out what's going on as far as the overs and unders and stuff like that. There was literally a bet that he was able to make on a weekly basis, and it was about whether or not Justin Herbert would throw a fourth quarter interception. And for 3 or 4 weeks straight, he bet it and won, to the point where that website decided, you know what, we're not putting that up anymore because too many people are winning on that. So make of that what you will. But I don't know if maybe there has been, obviously Mac Jones has struggled a little bit with Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator, which I don't think that made sense to anybody. I'm sure as other AFC East rivals, including the Dolphins, we were like, yeah, we're kind of enjoying watching the Patriots suffer, I guess, but it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I don't understand why they would do that. So now, obviously, you bring in Bill O'Brien, and no longer is he the head coach. Now he's just the offensive coordinator. So Bill Belichick's ultimately calling the shots on most things, but O'Brien obviously is a very smart offensive mind. Now, what do you think? You think that Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott, do you think those guys are going to be able to keep doing what they've been doing again, that the Chargers did, carry on what they did, just run all over the Dolphins? And will that be enough to get you guys the win on Sunday?
It's interesting what you brought up, because I think you're pretty spot on. I think Fangio played a defense that asked the Chargers to run it quite a bit. I don't think that the Dolphins will go into this game Sunday night with the same amount of fear of the Patriots passing game, especially not the vertical passing game that they had, against the Chargers. We're not really built to be an explosive offense. Kendrick Bourne's kind of the only guy that I would peg right now as a dangerous receiver. You guys had Devontae Parker for a while. We have him now. He didn't play Sunday. He was out. He should be back for Sunday night, but you guys know him. Great 50-50 ball guy, physical receiver. Is he going to, take a 5-yard slant to the house? Probably not. He's going to get caught by a corner or safety coming over. So I would expect for the Dolphins fans on Sunday night, you guys are going to get a little bit more of a taste of what that Fangio defense can look like and how he's going to use certain personnel. I think Pats with Ramondre Stevenson, Ezekiel Elliott want to run the ball. We saw it on Sunday against the Eagles. They tried. Like I said, we started 2 rookie guards. We could not get any traction going in the running game. I think if they can against the Dolphins, it'd be great. It would help Mac end the offense out a bunch. I don't know if the success is going to necessarily be there, though.
Now, I want to ask you something else real quick. And there were recent comments made on a podcast with Alan Pupar and Omar Kelly. It's one of your NBC Boston guys. I can't remember his name. But he basically came out and said that, number one, that he thinks that Mac Jones is better than Tua. Okay, fine. You want to believe that? Fine. That's fine. You want to do that? Fine. Play that game. But I don't know if maybe I'm missing something here. Or maybe the guy is just trolling on purpose. But if he believes that Mac Jones is better than Tua, that's his prerogative. But what he said that really baffled me was that he believes that A, Mac Jones is more accurate than Tua, and B, Tua has a stronger arm than Mac, which, in my opinion, I feel like that should be reversed.
Where Tua has the stronger arm or Mac has the stronger arm?
That Mac has the stronger arm and Tua is more accurate, not the other way around.
Oh. If I had to just very roughly put them into cups of who's the accurate one, who's the strong arm one, I would give Tua the stronger arm.
Really?
Max, I would. Mac, there was a couple throws on Sunday where you could tell he was thrown into the wind to the boundary, and they kind of dove at the end. They kind of took, a little dive down. A couple of them were caught. A couple of them ended up, in hindsight, being pretty big plays in the game. Tua, as we've seen, and he does benefit from playing in Miami, a little bit better weather, especially later in the year than we have up here in New England. But I would say he has the stronger arm. I don't know if I'd honestly say Mac is more accurate if we were to have a competition. I just think that's more Mac's kind of prototype at this point, is that accurate, more of a dink and dunk type QB. Like I said, if he can play in a system, fantastic. He's not going to create, like the electric guys in the league are right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Honestly, dude, I was not expecting you to agree that Tua has a stronger arm. Like I never thought that we would be in a position where anybody would acknowledge that Tua has a stronger arm than anybody. The way that people talk about him sometimes, and even like, especially in the national media, if I have to hear Skip Bayless say one more time that Tua is a soft armor and he doesn't have an NFL arm, I'm like, then what does Mac Jones have, dude, if that's the case?
Lewis, I love Tua personally, big fan of his. I'm over at Around the Block Sports, and I remember a couple of years ago, there was the questions on should the Dolphins trade for Deshaun Watson, and should Tua be part of that package? And there's a few of the guys that cover the Dolphins, and they're making their cases. And the Pats fan in me said, yeah, absolutely, because that'll gut your whole franchise. Get rid of the good quarterback, get rid of your draft picks. The realistic kind of football analyst in me saw no use in doing that. I think Tua, for whatever reason, like you said, does not get the national attention he deserves. Josh Allen had a very similar early career trajectory. great raw talent. Once you got Stephon Diggs, you really saw him take off. I think the same is true for Tua, where very good, raw, kind of just natural prospect. You just saw him light the world up once he got Tyreek. And funny enough, we love comparing New England and Miami, especially with the Mac Jones Tua. New England has not done that for Mac. New England has not gone out, got that alpha receiver that can kind of grow with him and let him maybe take the next step. So it'll be interesting to see if that, how that plays out the rest of this year.
So Juju Smith-Schuster doesn't do it for you?
I think he's good. I think he's a nice complementary piece. I think a guy like Mahomes can make him a 1A, and he's very good after the catch. He's not in that echelon of the Stephon Diggs, the Tyreek Hills, even the Jalen Waddles, AJ Browns, Devontae Smith, so on, kind of Jefferson guys. He's a good player. Not that same tier though.
I feel like Juju would probably take that as an insult.
I'm sure he would. So hopefully, maybe good news if he's watching us, but for my sake, hopefully, maybe I can save face.
No, for real. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the actual matchup for the actual game. So you guys do have a lot of veteran players. Just looking at your wide receiver core, for instance, obviously Juju's on there. Matthew Slater, 38 years old, 16-year veteran. Devontae Parker. Ty Montgomery's listed as a wide receiver on y'all's roster. And there are some other guys on there. Kendrick Bourne, obviously, you mentioned. Mm-hmm. Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki. So Gesicki, has he done anything for you guys as of yet, or is he just kind of like an afterthought in the offense so far?
The Eagles are very happy to play cover 3, force Mac to check down. They did not go to man a bunch in our game on Sunday. However, when they did, Gesicki did find some space on the low crossers, had one conversion on a 3rd and longer, but I think totaled maybe 2 or 3 catches. He wasn't lighting up the scoreboard or anything like that, but you could see kind of, the crumbs of maybe where that role in the offense is going.
All right. But was Hunter Henry still the guy as far as the tight end was concerned?
Henry is the guy. I've been bullish on him since training camp. He was named a team captain for the first time. Mac and him just have a connection that, it's just one of those innate ones, and that's where Mac wants to go when he gets into trouble. If he's available in any of your fantasy leagues, I'd go pick Henry up. He's going to be a red zone kind of specialist. A lot of touchdowns, I think, maybe not as many catches.
Well, I'll take that advice because honestly, I have my tight ends are right now are Darren Waller, and I assumed that Dalton Schultz would do something in Houston, but maybe I'm wrong on that. And I went ahead and I picked up Sam Laporta on waivers, thinking that the Lions will probably throw to him a lot. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm trying to catch up with everybody, but so now the thing that I wanted to talk about real quick is obviously the Dolphins offense is projected to be extremely difficult to stop. You can't really go like Dan Orlovsky basically laid it out for everybody on ESPN lately is that you can't play man, you can't play zone. So what exactly are you supposed to do? So now I'm going to put you in the defensive coordinator role real quick here. If you are the New England Patriots, you are Bill Belichick, and you have to come up with a plan. I have to stop Tua because so far I haven't beaten Tua once. He's 4-0 against New England. So how are you going to stop Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill from doing what they continue to seem to do on everybody?
Right. So there's a couple different ways I think to, attack this one. So Jonathan Jones, I remember talking about him last year with you guys, cornerback for us, primarily played in the slot. He moved to the boundary last year, had a really good year overall. But funny enough, he's kind of primarily been our Tyreek guy. He's manned Tyreek up before. If he's not soloed on him, he'll have safety help, but he kind of follows Tyreek all over the field. The problem is you guys got Jalen Waddle, who's kind of Tyreek Hill light. I mean, that guy is small. He's quick. He's fast. His releases are incredible. Great route runner. So if you want to man guys up, I don't know if we have that answer then for Waddle to stop Waddle. The initial knee-jerk reaction looking at your offense, looking at our defense would be Pats probably revert back to the mid-2010s kind of defensive strategy of bend, don't break. Make you guys drive. Make you guys dink and dunk. Make you guys run the ball. See if Tua gets impatient and finally chucks one up, into a double coverage kind of situation. The thing I'm interested to see Sunday, the Pats have, in my opinion, one of the most talented defenses I've seen as far as the individual guys and what they can do. We have a bunch of hybrid players, and I would not have thought that we would have played as much cover zero against Jalen Hurts as we did last week. And we came out and felt comfortable doing that. So I would like I said, my knee-jerk reaction, dink and dunk, force you guys to drive. I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick comes out with a surprisingly aggressive game plan, and tries to get some pressure on Tua, tries to make him make quick decisions, has some of those muddle huddle amoeba fronts that he uses from time to time, where maybe all of a sudden, Christian Barmore, he's not rushing the passer, he's dropping back, 5-yard kind of hook slant, dropping into that window. That's the matchup for me. I think I just would love to see what Belichick's mind can come up with these guys on defense.
Yep. So the thing that I'm worried about is the fact that you brought it up, is that you're trying to see if you can make Tua be impatient. Like, I know for a fact that Tua wants to continue to throw the ball downfield. He hates checking down, just based on what I've seen from him. Like, even if the check down is available, he'll still prefer to see if he can launch it up there and see if maybe somebody comes down with it. And granted, sometimes it works. I have a heart attack while he does it, but sometimes it works. So, but if the plan is to make Tua make mistakes and force him to either decide to do the check down, which again I know he hates with the burning passion of 1,000 suns, or do something stupid, then I am concerned that he may decide to do something that he shouldn't, and the Patriots could end up getting a few turnovers, very similar to what ultimately the 49ers and the Chargers did against him last season. Now, the only thing that I can say in favor of to counter that would be that Tua has learned a lot, obviously, over the years. He's learned from Vic Fangio, which I feel like is why he was able to find the holes in the Chargers defense last week, in spite of the fact they actually had more players available to them than they did last year. And I'm hoping that Tua still has memories of Brian Flores in his mind back when he was the coach for the Dolphins. And he's like, okay, I've seen this before. I know what I need to keep an eye on. And hopefully, on the Dolphins part of things, he's going to realize, okay, this guy is probably not actually going to do what he's doing there. I've seen this before. Hoping against that. Now, the real thing here is that obviously the Miami Dolphins offensive line, we heard this today. We're recording this on Wednesday, just for everybody knows. We're recording this on Wednesday. Teron Armstead is finally practicing again. He was limited in practice, but he is practicing. But even then, Kendall Lamb did a great job against the likes of Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack when they were rushing the passer. He did a fantastic job. But they didn't have a whole lot of blitzes to deal with that I can remember. So now, if you're talking about an aggressive game plan from Bill Belichick, do you foresee a lot of 5-man, 6-man rushes coming to see if they can knock Tua down to the ground?
I said I didn't think that we would be playing cover zero and sending a lot of odd man blitzes against Jalen Hurts on Sunday, and we did. And I don't know if you watched the broadcast or not. Tony Romo was completely stumped on 1 3rd down, where the Pats kind of showed off coverage, ended up being a cover zero, but had a zone match on the back end of it, and confused Romo, confused Hurts. Obviously, it's on tape now, so I'm sure Tua's taking a look at it and whatnot. But I can see, there's a couple different ways to attack it, I think. But see some simulated pressures, trying to make it look like this guy's coming, maybe bringing somebody else from the opposite side, something like that. We do have, in my opinion, a pretty healthy and talented staple of pass rushers at this point, and just letting them try to win one-on-one. So trying to, again, with a simulated pressure, make it so there's not a double team, and you got, Uche one-on-one with a guy, you got Judon one-on-one with a guy, something like that, and get pressure that way.
Well, I personally just hope that if you do end up hitting Tua, that you put him down gently, please. That's all I ask. Yeah. No more. I don't want to have to test the jiu-jitsu training that much. So
I would agree. For his sake, and for NFL's sake, I hope that guy. I hope he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I don't feel like at this point, I don't feel like there's any question of how talented or how good Tua can be. The only question left is, can he play a full season? And quite frankly, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Colby. I don't know if maybe you agree with me on this or not, just from an NFL standpoint. If you find a guy who is as good and can perform as strongly as Tua can on a regular basis, but let's say he's guaranteed to miss at least like 2 or 3 games every year, I would still pay him. I would still pay him if he only going to miss 2 or 3 games a year, but the rest of the season he looks like that. I'd pay him. I'd still pay him. I agree.
I'd keep him around, definitely. Guy like that, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm glad we're on that page. Like just from an NFL standpoint, like there are so many people like, oh well, Tua gets hurt again, we're not going to. Are you out of your mind? You don't get rid of elite talent. You crazy.
No. The NFL's more fun with the flashy Miami team down there and the Dolphins being good. I'll tell you that.
Like, this is not a Sam Bradford situation. Well, maybe he's good, but we can't tell because he's always hurt. No, Tua's good. There's nothing left to check. But anyway, so let's go ahead and do our game predictions. So obviously we're going to have to pick a score. We're going to have to figure out who we believe is going to be the winner. I'll go ahead and go first. I do believe the Dolphins will continue to win these matchups. I think that if I had to choose, obviously, Tua, I would put Tua over Mac. And as far as the running backs, y'all have better running backs right now. I'll say that. Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott, you guys have a stronger run game. Part of that is it's not that I have a lack of faith in Raheem Mostert on Miami. I love Raheem Mostert. I think he's fantastic in this, especially in this offense. The problem is that Mike McDaniel doesn't want to run the football. Like, I don't care how many times he says he wants to run the football. He does not want to run the football. It is a lie. He does not want to run the ball. He wants Tua to throw it 40 times a game and go for 360 plus yards every single matchup. He does not want to run the football. So just on that alone, y'all have a better running game. So I personally feel like, though, that at the end of the day, I think it's actually going to be a much more higher scoring game than we're all expecting. I made the same prediction last week when it was the Chargers. I had my two co-hosts, Ron and Duke, on Pulse of Fins Nation, the live show, and they both said it was going to be like a defensive matchup. It's going to be a hit-for-hit kind of defense. Nope. I was like, no, they're going to score a bazillion points, I'm telling you. And I think the same thing is going to happen again with the Dolphins and the Patriots. I think that the Dolphins are going to put up something like 33 points. New England's going to go up to like 29, and it's going to be like oh God, I hate to say it, a Jason Sanders game-winning field goal. Like, I'm already cringing just saying what that. But in any case,
I think if it gets to a track meet, I would like Miami's chances. Honestly, like I said earlier, I just don't think we have the offensive personnel. I think, kind of talking about it earlier, I think we're going to get a marriage of those two Belichick strategies. I think he's going to want you to dink and dunk quite a bit, and he'll choose his spots to be aggressive and send some pressure after Tua. With that being said, if you know that Mike McDaniel doesn't want to run the ball, we know the guy in the hoodie in New England knows that he doesn't want to run the ball. And I think Belichick's going to do everything he can to invite you guys to run the ball. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You were right last week, so maybe this is your year for great predictions. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think New England wants to pound the rock, and I think they want Miami to do the same. I don't think New England wants the quick strike offense trading back and forth at all. I don't think that's what we're going into this game built for. If we can do that, if we can get you guys to run the ball, say 30, 35 times and limit that success, I think New England could sneak a squeaker. I'm talking like 17-16 type game. I think if it ends up into a track meet, I could see Miami probably hanging 30, 33, kind of like you said. I don't know if New England's quite ready to go toe-to-toe with an offense like that, and they probably max out 21, 24 points.
Well, you gave your official scenarios for both, but let's see your official prediction.
I think we get it done. I think we get it done in that tight game. I'll play a little Jim Cantori, but Hurricane Ian's going to blow right up there Saturday night, and we might be dealing with some sloppy field conditions on Sunday and some rain from the aftermath of that storm. And if that's happening, I think, it's going to be a sloppy, old school kind of football game, funny enough.
Mud bowl?
Nah, we got turf, which, right now
so
does not have a lot of love. Yeah, doesn't have a lot of love after Aaron Rodgers on Monday night, but no mud.
Okay, well, Mud Bowl might have been fun. Okay, so Colby, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate you coming on with us.
Absolutely, I always enjoy being with you guys.
All right, and we'll have you on again because this is an AFC East thing, so this is not your only time this year. So we'll be doing another one later on.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you very much. And folks, make sure you go check out You Brake Wheel Fix. They are the complete automotive wheel solution. If you need to get your car upgraded or if you just want to get your wheels fixed, 305-748-0112 is the number to call. PrizePicks.com is where you go for your daily fantasy. Make sure that you go check them out. Use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit. And just want to go ahead and once again announce Biscayne Bay Brewery, another 5 Reasons watch party for Sunday Night Football. Starts at 7 o'clock, and we will be hanging out with y'all all night long as we watch the Miami Dolphins, hopefully, fingers crossed, I know Colby's fingers are crossed the other direction, but that the Dolphins will beat the Patriots, go 2-0, and hopefully take over the AFC East because these Jets are all of a sudden talking a lot of smack. Like, y'all, the Jets are the last team that needs to be talking smack right now. I'm sorry. All right. That's going to be it for this show. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you all next week for another episode of Fins Nation.